silent all around. Maligned, if they get the chance. They were born in bloody circumstance. To go, leave me, run like you've never run before. A voice from the underground, given room to breathe, not but be drowned. So die if you get the chance. Better men than you've been, let this dance. To go, leave me, run like you've never run before. I have seen the worst, and there is nothing left for me to hate, so I can lay me down, my brothers, on the ground. I bled today until Coyote comes to raise me up and carries me away. To go, leave me, run like you never did. No, leave me, run like you've never run before.
Hello. I was waiting for someone else to say hello there and then realised it's down to me. Hello and welcome to the Scottish Rugby podcast in combination with the Scottish Rugby Blog. I am joined tonight by Mark Riley. Hello, Mark.
Hi there, how are you doing?
I'm very well. Yourself?
Yeah, living the dream as always, mate.
That's grand. So long as you're not dreaming the life, that would be awful. And I'm also joined by Leslie. Leslie, how are you?
All the better for seeing you, Allan.
You're only so much flesh and bone. What can I say? What can I say? So welcome to the Scottish Rugby Podcast. We're part of the Sports Social Network. You're all patrons. This is a wee OnlyFins. So, I mean, I'm going to say I think you already give us a follow or like in your favourite podcast app. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe, the usual. You can also find us on social media and the links can be found on our website, scottishrugbyblog.co.uk. Leave us a wee review on Apple. And you already support us on Patreon, so I don't need to tell you to follow us there for £3 a month, because presumably you already know, and if you don't, someone's done you dirty. What can I say? Right. We start off with a little bit of news. We'll try and be all efficient. There is not much news that is not opinion about, but Leslie has been absolutely brilliant and has done a wee trawl. The first is maybe unsurprising given how short his involvement was on Saturday. But Elliot Miller-Mills has flown home and won't take any part on Saturday against the Boks. Leslie, are you surprised by that? Or?
No, that poor man looked very sore going off on Saturday, so it didn't come as a huge surprise. Very sad to see, but not a huge surprise, no.
Yeah, and actually, there was a time when we'd have been like, I'm not sure how much of a loss it is, but he has been quite a player since I slagged him off on here and said he wasn't very good. Um, and you are welcome, Scotland and Northampton and Newcastle fans. So
He's
yeah,
certainly,
do you think he'll be missed?
I actually think he will. I think he's becoming a good second to Xander. I think, and let's not forget the scrum where unfortunately he was injured. They had the Argentinian scrum going backwards. And we've always said that our depth behind Xander is very poor. So I'm gutted he won't get an opportunity against the Box, because if he'd gone that well against Argentina, you got to figure he'd be playing this weekend as well. But unfortunately, it's an international game, and it's a long season,
Absolutely. He is. You said depth behind Xander, but he's actually kind of depth in front of Xander at times now, isn't he?
Yeah, possibly, yeah.
Not that he's first, not that he is our best prop, but there are times when he is picked to play first.
Yeah, I think it's back to this finishers rather than subs logic. It's about how you pick your bench, not how you. It's about how you pick your 23, not how you pick your starting 15 and those that will come on when somebody's broken.
It's taken rugby a long time to get past that. I think probably because of the injury replacement. But I'll tell you one thing. How many players, when you've got a player injured in 15, 16 minutes, you've got a prop injured, how many better props to have on the bench? You're like, oh, he's going to have to do 64 minutes. Oh, it's Xander.
Yeah.
Leslie, that's quite something to have.
It is. I was a little bit tenuous when I saw Xander was coming on, not because I don't think he can do the 65 minutes or whatever. I think, by his own very high standards, had a little bit of a wobble in terms of form towards the latter end of the season, and I thought, he's not maybe quite firing on all cylinders. This could make for a long old evening. But he looked back to his full sandbags best. So no concerns, thankfully. But yes, I was thinking, oh no, poor Xander. It's a rough old time, and this could be tough, but it was fine.
There was a couple of pitches thrown, wasn't there? So
my favourite interaction was at one point the ref was talking to him while Xander was holding their scrum half at arm's length, like anybody else would hold a 10-year-old child, and the scrum half struggling away while Xander is calmly chatting to the ref. I just thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, and in the days when we had Xander starting and VP Nell on the bench, I was always very nervous because you're like, what if Xander fails an HIA 5 minutes in? Much better to start VP Nell and then have Xander if he gets injured.
Yeah.
I think we have to get past the subs are a second half thing as well. That's the next thing.
Yes.
Go on and empty the tank.
If you accept that Rassi is probably the best coach in the world at the moment, he is in no way bothered by the subs on the bench. Coming on the second half, he'll just simply, if somebody's not performing, he'll switch him out. No messing.
Yeah, I think that's right. Okay, moving on to the next bit of news. I would say Le chat est sorti du sac. Enfin.
Cat's out the bag.
Cat's out the bag. Ben 10 is finally confirmed as going to Stade Rochelet. And I think, well, we've all known about it for quite some time, but the fact it wasn't announced was making me think, have Glasgow mounted a bid? But what do we think? Is that a good move for Ben?
Yes.
Leslie?
Yes. I think it's safe to say there was a difference of opinion, perhaps, between him and the Edinburgh coaching staff. So better off out of there. And you're going to play the top 14. You'll play 1,000 games a year. He'll get plenty of game time. Even if he's not first choice, he'll still get plenty of game time. He'll be in the south or West France. Be great. And you're out with the Scottish bubble. You're not having to play URC. Good times.
Yeah.
Go
Do you think if he plays well, he'll be back in Scotland reckoning?
Well, had he not gone to Newcastle for that little bit of a loan spell, I would have said no. But you've got to assume Tooney's probably had some kind of hand in that Newcastle loan, which does make me think, is there still a door open, perhaps, if he did perform? But he's eligible again for Ireland next year.
Ooh.
So, yeah, guess we'll see what happens. But if he does play well, I don't see why not.
And I think there's something, Mark, about him being coached by O'Gara, isn't there? That's potentially a good match for him in terms of developing his game.
Yeah, I think so. And in fact, if you look at his playing style, it was probably quite similar to O'Gara. I think there's no reason why he couldn't be back in line for Scotland. But after the way he's being treated, if he thinks it's a possibility to get into Ireland next year, because let's be honest, Ireland are not washing around in incredible tens. In his shoes,
Prendergast is brilliant again. Haven't you been paying attention? It's great. Everything sorted.
Yeah.
And we were all very nasty for thinking that he couldn't tackle.
No, indeed.
One swallow does, in fact, make a summer.
Yes. But yeah, in Healy's shoes, I might be saying, thanks, but no thanks, Scotland. I'm going to play here with O'Gara and take my chances of actually becoming the 10 that Ireland always thought I would be. I mean, remember when he came over and he was getting lined up for Scotland, a load of Irish people were up in arms about it because he was genuinely regarded as one to watch for the future. And I think he's been fairly horribly misused by us, I have to be honest. The other side is, and Leslie alluded to it as well, I wish him all the best. The lifestyle he's going to have in La Rochelle compared to the lifestyle he had in Edinburgh. I mean, I love Edinburgh, but I've also been to La Rochelle. It's a fabulous place. I wish him all the best. He deserves it.
Yeah. I would love it if he actually starts playing more regularly and is happy coming back to play for Scotland. But I think he's a man that's had a rotten time, and actually he deserves to enjoy his rugby again, regardless of what he chooses or what opportunities come to him.
Absolutely.
Okay, moving on. Helen Nelson is bucking the trend. She's not coming to Glasgow or Edinburgh. She has joined Ealing Trailfinders. Mark, a good move for her?
Yes, I think it's a shame for Edinburgh and or Glasgow because she's clearly a star. But she seems to have got, in my opinion, it's maybe just I haven't been concentrating well enough, but it looks to me that she's become markedly better in the last 12 to 18 months. She's really commanding the game. She's controlled and makes the right choices. And in the nicest sense, as much as they want to bring the Celtic Challenge on and make it a very good competitive set of matches, it's not yet. And we need our international 10 to be playing at the highest level. So I'm quite happy that she's gone there, and I think it'll be good for her as well.
Yeah, and Leslie, Mark reckons it'll be good for Ellen Nelson. What do you reckon it'll be for Scotland? Good, bad, and different?
Well, there's a little sort of mini Scottish contingent down there, so it will not be bad for her. She'll have plenty of our Scotland besties there. Rachel Malcolm's there, Emma Wassell's there. From what I'd like to believe, they're quite a tight-knit group anyway. So the thing is, she's been in the PWR for quite a long time. She is a starter, so it's not worth. It's not worth it. But financially, Helen will earn more playing in the PWR because she is a regular starter. She will get some salary from Ealing Trailfinders as well as her Scotland contract. So she would obviously then only get her Scotland contract should she come back. So it's not financially worth it for her to be coming back. So I'm glad that she got a club in the PWR where it makes a bit more sense for her to be.
And it's not like she's seriously risking not being picked because she's quite far ahead of the other candidates at 10.
Yes. In the women's group chat, even the rugby noses of the PWR couldn't quite remember who Ealing Trailfinders starting 10 was. So I think Helen will probably be okay.
Yeah, that's grand. That's grand. And the final bit of news is that Scotland's under-20s have beaten the mighty Japan, and that puts them into the plate competition in the under-20 Rugby World Cup, as far as I can see it. So that's the 5th to 8th place playoff.
Yes.
So we should just call it what it is and call it the plate competition. Is that good for us, do you think? Is that us achieving what we should be? Or?
Well, considering last year we were not in this competition at all, we were in the Diddy Cup competition for the under-20s. So, yes, it is a huge improvement from the previous years. 5th to 8th is probably about where Scotland would expect to be. We're not up there with South Africa, France, England. We don't have the same depth as those guys. So
I'm presuming the 4th is New Zealand. I haven't looked, but
it is. It's the traditional kind of big teams. So pretty, and considering our starting fly half is 17, and his first season of I don't want to say pro rugby, but you know what I mean, like first season of
high performance rugby.
Yeah, high performance rugby and doing very well. I don't think we can have too many complaints. But,
I think that's fair. I think that's fair. Mark, have you been watching much of the under-20s?
I caught a few. I caught a few of the games. I've been quietly impressed with a few of them. A few of the players. I think. Like Leslie's right to point out Jake DL. I mean, he really has the potential to be an absolute Rolls-Royce player. Considering he's, as Leslie says, he's 17. All 6'5" of them, by the way. And at 17, he's probably got a handful of years growing left in him. Get that into perspective. But yeah, he's been excellent. I think the fact that Ollie Blythe-Lafferty has been playing senior rugby is very evident in how our scrums have held their own. I mean, basically, it's the old adage, right? No scrum, no win. And it doesn't matter how you paint it. That's just the way rugby is. And I think he's made a considerable difference to our ability to compete. The lads are playing very much I hesitate to use the term, but it's probably about right, the Scotland model. So they're playing a lot of kind of wide attacking game, and you can't do that without a solid platform. So
I know, we have tried.
Yes, and it's been good to watch. And more on Saturday later.
Absolutely. In fact, we're just coming up to that now. The one thing I want to do before we move on to that is those that are watching on stream will see that I'm wearing red, white, and blue. Anyone that's listening to the pod shouldn't worry. I've not suddenly started backing Nigel Farage or anything like that. I'm not standing between two flags saying Someone's put a picture of my house up that I have stood in front of for photo opportunities for years. I'm wearing a New Zealand Free Jacks top that was given to me by my friend and the friend of the pod, David Lawrence from the Scrum of the Earth podcast. He and his lovely wife Paige are on a grand tour of Scotland, and in fact that's where Johnny is this evening. Him and Craig, they're I think in St Andrews all together, and David very kindly dropped off a Free Jacks top for me, so I thought it was only right to wear it on the pod tonight.
Absolutely.
That's grand. So I don't think we can put it off any longer. Scotland, Argentina. I mean, that when Scotland started that game as they meant to go on, didn't they? Leslie, how did you feel about that start?
By going down a try.
By going down a try, and there was a point where it was like, oh, it's okay, Argentina's possession has gone down to 92%. Yeah, so, how did you feel about the start?
I watched it back this afternoon, and I thought, oh my God, this is actually much worse than I remember. Especially as you say, and it was just stupid penalty after penalty after penalty, and they could just not get out of their own way. And I'm thinking, oh my God, this could be a very long, at the time we were watching, this could be a very long, evening. But thank God it turned out, Jesus.
Yeah.
And when that first try went over, you're thinking, oh no, here we go. It's a repeat of November. We're going to get pumped here.
And it wasn't just the first try. There was the very near second try, wasn't there? Mark, how were you feeling by this point?
Bizarrely, possibly even more uptight on the second watch. I watched it back yesterday morning, I think. And they absolutely starved us of ball. And our game is attack. If we don't have the ball, we can't do anything with it. And it doesn't matter how good your defense is, holes will appear. If you've only got something like 10% possession or whatever it was. On the first watch, I was genuinely thinking we were about to get our arses handed to us. I'm just conscious that I'm suddenly conscious we are on Patreon. I can't say that.
You can also say arse and non-Patreon. We've gone over the
Off-Club
guidelines.
I just avoid it because I think there might be kids listening.
But they can hear it in the BBC, so we're all right.
Well, that's true, yeah. But no, I genuinely, the first 15, I think it was 17 minutes before we had any possession.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, I was worried. And to be perfectly honest, that worry didn't leave me until probably deep into the second half. It wasn't, irrespective of what the scoreline should have been, like if it had been a serious team playing, it would have ended at 47-24 or 50 odds 24.
Put a pin in that thought for now, Mark, because I have a question later on regarding to that.
But it was not, it was not the easy win that scoreline would have had it. I was distinctly nervous. But then that's also because I've been a Scotland fan for too long, right?
Show me on the doll where the Scotland men's rugby team hurt you.
Exactly.
When you say I can't point at that, I can't point to the soul because that's where Scotland have hurt me in the past.
That's precisely correct. Yes.
Yeah. And then 17 minutes. Well, I mean, first off, we get Xander on, but we've kind of covered that. Elliot Miller-Mills is a very, very good player and has been playing well for Scotland. But, Xander comes on and you're like, okay, we've got a replacement. But at 17 minutes, there's a lovely bit of a move, and Rory Hutchinson, perhaps Leslie, shows us maybe why he might be someone that should be selected over the admittedly wonderful, and I love him, Hugh Jones.
I would just like to take this opportunity to apologise to Rory Hutchinson because I have frequently said that I am not a huge fan. And do you know what? I was wrong. And to quote the lovely Craig Manson of this parish. I will be wrong and sit here in my wrongness. Yes, he was really very good, wasn't he?
And what he
Yeah.
has that Shug doesn't have is hands.
Yeah.
He's got a distribution game.
It was really the partnership between him and Sione was actually quite lovely to watch. As much as we love Hugh Pilotu, there's a new hot bombshell has entered the villa. Yeah, they were quite lovely together. I enjoyed it very much. More of that, yes.
Yeah.
And Hugh, bless him, not fit, so keep a good thing going while it's going, isn't it?
Absolutely. And yeah, Mark, I've often said, Stafford McDowell's an unlucky player because in almost any other era of Scotland, he would be a 50 cap player by now, if not more. And as for McDowell, so for Hutchinson.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, Stafford has been keeping Shug out of the Glasgow team, injury or not. He's been getting selected over him. I have off and on over the years, I've had issues with Stafford because I have felt he can have bad days and very visible and very costly bad days. But those times seem to have left him. I don't remember the last time he had a howler like that. But yeah, I think it goes back to the whole triple threat thing, right? Sione is a triple threat in that he can pass, kick, run. And I think potentially we've got a bit of that with I think there's potentially a wee bit of that with Hutchinson as well. If I don't think he demonstrated his kicking game, I can't remember him having kicked.
I think there was a couple of kicks. Nothing that set the heather alight.
Yeah,
but I think he does have a boot on him because he's played 10 as well.
Oh right, okay, I didn't realise that. But his distribution is, dare I say it, better than either Stafford or Shug. I
don't think Shug, you know what you're getting, and lovely soft hands is not chief among them. Stafford's distribution's got better, and he's obviously got a big howitzer of a left boot, but Stafford's first option is Bash, isn't it? And look, that's
because he's a unit.
Really well.
He's 6'4" or something like that. But yeah, if we have 10, 12, and if we're playing the wide game that we keep talking about, and we suddenly have 10, 12, and 13 that can both run and distribute, then the opposition ideally doesn't know where the threat's going to come from. And that's got to be a win for us, right?
Yeah. I think that's right. And I think actually I would only take issue with you calling Sione a triple threat because I think he's a quadruple threat because I think he gives you two types of run.
Yeah, I almost corrected myself and I let that one go.
He can run round and they can run through. So it's whether it's run and carry. But yeah.
Imagine how good England would be if they had somebody like Rory Hutchison.
And I hate to say it about the vaccine denying conspiracy theorist from Exeter, but Henry Slade's a bit like that. He said Henry Slade's that kind of player. It's just England have never decided whether or not they're trusting him.
He's been trusted this week
against Fiji,
but probably not next week.
Yeah.
Speaking about carrying though, Schoeman. If Schoeman's going to get a try, it was maybe a bit further out than his usual and a bit more pace that he hit the gap with, but a very on-brand Schoeman try for his 50th cap, Leslie.
I think that's maybe the fastest I've ever seen Shuey run. He's not really a running onto the ball kind of like guy. He's very much a slow plod onto the ball, but like fair play to take it at his speed and go for it. It was lovely to see. Please,
I'm
could you
right
do more
here,
of that?
Leslie, when you're saying slow pod onto the ball. Right here.
I know. Yeah, more of that. Like, please, let's get Shuey running onto the ball. That was great.
Well, Ashman's been doing it and
Yes.
for a while for us. And
Mm.
okay, they might be only running 5 to 10 yards, but when a guy that big has 10 yards to get up ahead of steam, you're going to
Yeah.
struggle to stop him. I thought I thought the whole trying the line that Schumann ran was very reminiscent of Ashman.
Yeah.
And as you say, Leslie, more of that, please, because
Yeah.
hell, I wouldn't want to get in his way.
Yeah. Still close him out the way. Excellent.
Yeah.
The tank coming across the hill.
My Spanish isn't at all good, but I'm still certain I could hear Argentinian players shouting, "Your man."
Yes.
Lovely try from Hutch, sort of bit of pace and then wrestling over the line to dot the ball down. A good 13 try, isn't it, that one? And then all got a wee bit squeaky bum because they get a try just after half time. And then things started.
Was that the one that Kyle Rowe didn't quite catch it, and the Argentinian guy did?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And which, so it was a rare mistake's the wrong word, but
Yeah.
a rare misstep from Kyle Rowe.
Yeah.
And then cometh the ginger man, Gregor Brown, barging over. It's interesting. I'm working with a guy that played quite a lot of rugby with Gregor Brown, and the rumor about Gregor Brown was always like, oh, he's, it's his defence, There's a rumor that he tackled someone so hard, playing sort of at school, that he put them in the hospital with some sort of cardiac event, whether or not that's true. But that was the legend about him. So there was like, I don't know about his carrying. I was like, yeah, I think he's worked on that bit of his game.
Yeah, just a bit.
Yeah, and to the point where Brown's a good carrier now, isn't he, Mark?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think, and I think we said it on our group chat that when he came on, it was like he went into full on beast mode. He definitely wanted to make a point. I saw an interview with him months and months ago about him regularly coming off the bench for Glasgow, and him being quite happy with that. He's saying, no, if that's the way Franco thinks I'm best used, then I'm quite happy with that. And I like him off the bench. He can cover the row and the back row, and he usually brings a bit of aggression, a bit more pace in the forwards. I think he's a fantastic bench option for us. Not this weekend, though.
Oh, see, this is wonderful. We're just teasing the preview for Saturday. And we did say that Pierre Schoeman was pretty fast, hitting the line and getting the ball for his try. So maybe there's something in this. Maybe there's an extra little speed boost, a wee stat boost that comes to players getting their 50th cap. Because who had Scott Cumming finishing off that try on that move on their bingo card, Leslie?
Do you know what? When I was watching it today, I was thinking, if Ben White has engineered this to let Scotty go over, because he could have ran that in himself. But yeah, I mean, fair play to him to be running along, on the shoulder of. It was Ben White, and I can't remember who the other Scotland player was. It Kyle?
I think it was Kyle.
Kyle Rowe, maybe.
I think it was lesser Kyle. Yeah.
You know, fair play to Scott for continuing to run down that line for the giant man that he is. More, yeah. If you can do more of that, Scott, that's great. Even on your 51st cap, sweet.
I mean, he has been called in by the Type 5 union, so we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
See what punishment he gets.
Yeah. And then the yellow card for Dolby, and a try for Argentina. So try for Argentina, yellow card for Dolby. I thought we'd maybe got away with it. There's been 4 penalties, 4 advantages in the build-up. But then the ref comes over to Jamie Dolby and you're kind of like, oh, his nose is bleeding. Maybe he wants him to go off to get the blood cleaned up.
Yeah.
And even that, I knew that my natural Pollyanna-esque tendencies had gone too far. I thought Dolby was unlucky to be the one that was holding the parcel when the music stopped. But I think Scotland were not unlucky to get a yellow card. Does that make sense?
Let's be perfectly honest. Anybody who is not a back rower is unlucky to be holding the parcel when the music stops. Right?
Fair. But it was a passage of play. I actually thought Dolby was being held in and couldn't roll away, but the picture that had been painted was set long before that ruck was set up.
Yeah.
And I think, in fact, no, it was on the group chat you're not on because it was David's. There's a few of us on the chat that were meeting up with David on the WhatsApp group, and he'd said, "Did anyone else just clench with the yellow card?" And I mean, that's. I think if I scroll back in our group chat and most Scottish rugby fans' group chats, everyone would have had a variation of the bowl of petunias going, "Oh no, not again."
Yep. I definitely had that going on.
Yeah, because we have all been traumatised by Scottish rugby.
Yes.
We have all been traumatised. And we can talk about... Oh, sorry.
I was going to say, my very hot take is I don't actually think Jamie Dolby had a very good game at all. By Jamie's very own high standards.
Yes.
Thought he was quite poor at times. He dropped balls. He... gave away penalty after penalty, and it just... He was good at defence at times, but it's just not the Jamie that we've... And I know he's been injured, and I'm not saying he's a bad player, but he did not have a very good game, I didn't think.
I totally agree. I was going to mention it myself. He looked every inch the player that has played virtually no competitive rugby in 6 months.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
He'll come back to it, but
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, he played since he was injured in the Six Nations,
Yes.
and I think I'm right in saying he's played a game and a half for Glasgow
Yes.
since then.
Yes, he played the quarter final and the semi final.
Yeah, came off the bench in the quarter
Came off the
final,
bench. Yeah.
started in the semi final at scrum half, and then the next thing he's playing for Scotland against Argentina. That's a big ask.
Yeah.
Do you know what we should do, Mark? We should definitely pick him for South Africa next week. Oh wait.
He's had the warm up. He'll be fine. But then... So it was a match of milestones for Scotland, wasn't it? Because you had Skoo and Cummings. I keep wanting to say Cummings and Goings, but I can't put any more money in the Dodgy Jarks. I've made the donation, and I am done for the season. But them going over in their 50th cap, and then we have Gregor Hiddleston, whose Scotland debut feels like it's been a long time coming. Going over from a line-out move and from a maul. That was a popular one in our house. How was it for you, Leslie?
I was very pleased for him because like you guys, he absolutely should have been in that Six Nations squad, and I'm still not really sure why he wasn't. I know I think he got called up eventually, but was unused. I think he showed he was very composed through his lineouts, did all the things that you would want him to do, didn't let himself down, and got a nice little try on top. And it was such a I know it was a maul, but he still picked the right time to launch himself over that line.
Yeah.
It was lovely. Really pleased for him, especially on his debut. And I think his parents had went out to watch, so
yeah.
even lovelier for them to be able to see was a son on his first Scotland cap and get a nice try as well. It was great.
That's fantastic. And Mark, do you enjoy that one as much as we did?
Oh yeah, very much. I was chuffed to bits for the lad because, like you guys, I thought he should have been in the Six Nations squad. I think he is, as it stands at the moment. We have some young hookers coming through who are likely to go well, but he, for me, is the current second in line to Ashman. In the way he's been playing for Glasgow, I'm disappointed he didn't get a run in the Six Nations, and I was chuffed to bits for him to score. I mean, proper punch in the air chuffed, you know.
What about 74-year-old Dave Cherry? Go on now.
Yeah.
What about 75-year-old George Turner?
That was the bigger issue for me.
Playing, not playing at Quins very much.
Yeah.
And in Japan before that.
Cherry, at the very least, was getting lauded at Van. And he was getting a lot of game time, and they loved him down there.
What they did, though.
I know it's pro they did. So at least you learn to protect your eyes. But but Turner had no game time at all. Why he was selected above Hiddleston was beyond my comprehension.
I thought Hiddleston.
We probably did this to death back in February. To be fair.
I thought he was injured for some of it, but not all of it. But I might be wrong. I might be wrong. Scoring was rounded out by the man that I have somewhat unkindly called Lesser Kyle. So I bloody love Kyle Rowe. I just keep thinking of My Shot from Hamilton. You know, I'm just like my country. I'm young, scrappy, and hungry, and I'm not throwing away my shot. And that just typifies how Kyle Rowe plays.
I've never seen Hamilton. Sorry.
All right.
I mean, to be fair, it has a cultural footprint. But young scrappy. I mean, I know he's 28, so the young's the least likable of those. But he's a man that's looked down the barrel of losing his professional rugby career twice, and he plays like he is. If it does go away, it's not going to be his fault, and it is difficult not to love a player like that.
Yeah.
Never lets Glasgow or Scotland down when he comes on.
I genuinely thought he had a storming game of the weekend. Really, really good. He made that one error that ended up in a try for them, but really, last line of defence, it's always going to happen, right? But yeah, I thought he was fabulous in attack, in the air. Chose the right options from fullback as well. You know, when to have a go at them and when to just get the hell out of there. You know, I think he made a couple of RI kicks as well. Certainly one I can remember. But again, that'll come with time in the shirt, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and look, playing Argentina is not an unpressured environment.
Exactly so.
Yeah, absolutely. And that kind of brings us to the end of the game. And I think there's probably a bit to unpack there, because there's a question I want to ask both of you about that. But I think before we do that, at what stage did you start to believe that we were going to do it? Leslie, when did you start to believe?
It would have been minute 78. Argentina had just scored that try, and there was not going to be enough time for them to score another one. So the score was pretty much done for that time. I thought, probably okay here. It wasn't a second before that.
Yeah.
Never trust Scotland until that whistle goes.
Mark,
No.
how about yourself?
I probably started to believe when we made 47 on Kyle Rose try, because my immediate reaction, and I'm sure a lot of you people as well, was give us 50, because there was still time. I can't remember when Rose try was, but there was still time for us to make 50 points. And then, of course, I reminded myself who I really was about minutes later when Argentina scored their first. And then again, it went to, as Lizzie says, about 78 minutes when I knew they didn't have time for another one. But we almost did the Scotland of all Scotlands, which is scary stuff.
I don't think it was as close as we think. But I kind of thought we were okay when Hiddleston went over, not least because that put us 22 points up. And I was like, well, we're more than 21 points up now. They're never going to come back from that. So, yeah. Actually, there was something, because there was that, is everyone just clenched? And we all felt it. And we were down to 14 men. And then Hiddleston goes over, and you're like, okay, that's quite a statement of intent. That's quite a statement of intent. Right. The end of the game. And is it same old Scotland? Is it the problems coming through again? Are there errors? Well, there was definitely errors, but is this new mistakes, or is this our DNA? We leak stuff. Mark, what do you think?
I fear it's our DNA and our mentality. The best teams would not have leaked 2 late tries. I mean, it was 47-24 with something like 7 minutes remaining. Can you imagine France, Ireland, New Zealand, any of them leaking 2 tries like that at the death?
I can imagine France doing it,
France.
to be fair.
Okay, all right. Yeah,
I
bad
mean,
example,
you are
but,
forgetting what we watched France serve up in the Six Nations at Murrayfield.
well, that's very true, but we also let France in at the end.
Yeah, although at that stage we had the back row player in the wing, and Kyle Stein with a massive gash in his leg, so there were mitigations there. Leslie, what do you think?
I agree with Mark that I do think that we switch off, and that when we get so far ahead, there's no intensity, there's no foot on the throat to just keep going. But I also think that bodies were starting to look pretty tired towards the end of the game, and I'm not too surprised that they started to leak a little bit. It did look like the effort was still there, but the body was just not keeping up with the effort they wanted to make, perhaps. But yes, I do agree on a whole with Mark that it is a mentality thing for the most part.
So I have a slightly different take. I think we were all agreed, Townsend spoke about this, that Scotland in the autumn when they played Argentina tried to protect their lead, and started doing stuff differently in that protecting their lead. And it's a bit like, losing the growth mindset. You try and protect your status as being clever, whatever, you don't keep pushing and stretching yourself. It's not okay to fail. And Townsend's spoken about what we need to do is more of the stuff that got us the lead. And I think that's what they were going for. I think where we want to get is we want to do about 75% of it. We want to do the stuff that got us the lead at about 75% of the risk. And I think it was Fergus Burke that made the mistake that let them in for that first try. And I think that's a hell of a thing to put in a young fly hat. Yes, we want to do more of the same is the message that you give. What you don't do is more of the same, but maybe 25% off it, because that's not something you want muddling the head of a young fly half with fewer than 10 caps. So I think there's an element that that's maybe how Fergus Burke learns do the same, but just a bit off it, just to put off the risk reward just a little bit. So that's kind of my take, and I think that fits with what Townsend said. And then when it was clear that they weren't going to win and they went over, I think there probably were a few business decisions made going, well, we're going to South Africa next week, we've won this game.
Yeah.
And again, I am very much not saying I wouldn't have done that. I mean, I wouldn't have been picked for Scotland. I don't have the mentality, fitness, or skills, it turned out. But I think to sort of go, why are we bursting a gut? Why are we bursting a gut here when it's a lost cause? So, but the problem is it kind of feeds into a same old Scotland narrative, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
The issue I have with it is that if we go in against South Africa, for the sake of argument, we go in 12 points in the lead into the last 10 minutes. I would love to see it, but hey. But if we do, they're still going to believe we're beatable. Nobody's head is going down in the last 10 minutes against Scotland because they know we can leak at the last.
Yeah, that's fair. What I would say, though, is I think South Africa always believe they're going to beat people.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
because them and the All Blacks are probably the teams that are least likely to put their head down. And with the All Blacks, that's becoming increasingly just based on racial memory, isn't it? They're not quite at the pinnacle that they were at.
Yeah. Oh, don't get me wrong. I was using South Africa as an example because we're playing them next weekend. I do not actually believe we're going to go in 12 points up in the last 10 minutes. Love to see it. Don't think it'll happen.
Just a couple of things to touch on. One quickly, one maybe a wee bit longer. Townsend used the bench. He used the bench well. And I will not name the person in the group chat that said Horn's probably only going to get 76 seconds when there's a man in George Horn's jersey going to put the ball into a scrum. I've been working all day and I've had a couple of jams since I came home, but I'm pretty sure that's him, It says up the back of his jersey and everything. But yeah, there wasn't, I don't think, the commentary team, I don't know if they were in the stadium because I think they probably were, but they didn't have a grasp of the substitutes terribly well. I was kind of scrabbling to find out who was on for whom.
Yeah, I felt that. There were guys came on and I didn't realise he'd come on until I noticed the shirt.
The Horn example being one for all of us, really. Oh, George Horn is on.
There he is, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I thought that was progress from Townsend. My last one was: is it a great win or is it leaking luck? And takes have been very varied on that. Takes have been, and it largely, I think, I don't know about everyone else, but from the media I've looked, it largely depends on how the person that's making the take feels about Scotland in general.
Yes.
Not looking at any other rugby podcasts that might involve people whose names rhyme with Gosh Jardiner. Josh, it's fair to say Josh didn't feel it was a great win for Scotland. But the take from even Peter Wright thought it was a good win. So if someone as miserable as Peter Wright's not complaining too much.
There's a couple of things Peter Wright said that I actually agree with this week, which has made me take my temperature. It's that is an unusual event.
Broken clocks tell the right time twice a day, Mark, unless they're digital.
Indeed. Irrespective of the fact that it's the summer tests, you can say it's not true wartime rugby, so to speak. It was still Scotland up against a full Argentinian team in Argentina, and it's the second highest score we've ever put on an Argentinian team and the highest in Argentina. Maybe not a great win, because it should have been, as I said earlier, for me, the great teams would have left it 47 or 54-24. But it was certainly a good win.
Yeah, I think I've got my take on it. Leslie, how do you feel?
I think it was a good win because it was a win for the first time against a tier 1 side without Finn Russell and 2 quite rookie international Kens. I thought Tom Jordan and Fergus Burke both were pretty good. I mean, Fergus thought was kind of not flustered. That's not the right word, but he was definitely looking a tad confused at times. He got his positioning a bit wrong here, like, why are you standing there? But given he's probably played one couple of games in total, against a pretty decent Argentinian side, I don't think he can see it as anything other than a good win. We still won pretty comfortably with no Finn Russell against a tier 1 side, and played for the most part quite well.
Yeah, I think that's right. I would say I think it's a very good win, for the reasons that we've discussed. It's not a great one, but we should be happy with that.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah. Let's not forget this Argentinian team have taken South Africa right to the wire. They've beaten New Zealand in New Zealand. They are regularly competing with the 3 Southern Hemisphere teams. They're not slouches. It's not the Argentina team of the 70s where they had a pack of brutal forwards and nothing else. They're a very good team.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's absolutely fair. And I think that probably ties it up for the game, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't think there's a lot else that we need to say. I think we've covered everything. I liked how when Argentina came back, Scotland would score once or even twice to get away. Then they come back and they'd. So I think there was a good bit of mentality in there.
Yes.
So yeah, excellent. That brings us on to the gift of SpongeBob SquarePants. I nearly said SquidgeBob SquarePants. Too much rugby. SpongeBob SquarePants just biting his nails and sweating. That's the gift that we've got. It's us versus South Africa. First off, the team's out. So, thoughts on the team? Leslie.
I don't hate it. I don't know if I love it either. I think I would have been inclined to give Tom Jordan another start as a bit of a continuity from last week, kind of continue to build his confidence at 10. And then if things are, going really wrong, you bring Finn on to, be Finn. And I just think, I know we said that being on the bench is not a bad thing, and it's not, but I think purely for the confidence of Tom Jordan, it might have been nice to allow him that start. Magnus Babry, really? Is that the only 8 we've got, other than Jack Dempsey?
There's Josh Bayless as well, but he's on the bench too. I mean, we've potentially got a whole replacement back row on the bench, because we've got Stafford, who John DL is talking about how Gregor had been looking to do a 7-1 split, and he talked him down to 6-2, but Stafford can cover that role. And I was like, yeah, that's what we want. We want a centre playing at flanker against the box.
We are not England. What are we doing? Don't be silly. This is the Borthwick move. That's some shit he would pull. No. We're going for the let's send our heavy boys, and it feels like we've seen this film before and it doesn't work, so why are we continuing to do it? I get it, I do, but it's kind of proven that it doesn't work. We're not going to win playing that way.
Mark, how are you feeling about it?
I feel the same. I'm not enamoured with the whole 6-2 split against South Africa. I know we've tended to do that against the nations that will come at us in the forwards, but we're not going to beat South Africa playing South Africa's game. We're simply not. They're not just better than us, they are better than everybody else in the world by some margin at playing a forward-oriented game. They also have some very talented backs now, and the whole of the South African team is basically that triple threat now. They're not just beat you up front. They've got fantastic runners. They can play to width. They can chase the high balls. I don't see what that bench is bringing us tactically. I can see what they're replacing. I don't understand what tactics we are trying to employ beyond potentially shoring up some tired bodies. And that's the issue I have with it. And it goes back to my strange Freaky Friday event where I actually found myself in the room with Peter Wright saying, start Tom Jordan and bring Finn on when people are tired. Because
I like that from Peter Wright, I have to say.
So did I, yeah. And because fundamentally, was it the World Cup the last time we played them?
Yeah.
They had our number.
Mm-hmm.
The entire tactics were, let's beat the shit out of them up front, shut down Finn, and then we can go and get a shower and a cold beer. And I'm fairly convinced that that's exactly what Rassie's talk is going to be this time.
Mm-hmm.
Put Tom Jordan to start, and we were talking about the triple threats of Hutchinson and Tuipulotu and Jordan,
mm-hmm.
and they don't quite know how to deal with that. And then bring Finn on when people are tired, if we need to throw caution to the wind, for an example, No, I don't hate the team, but also for the reasons we've just said about Jamie Dobie having had hardly any game time. He's presumably, Ben White gets injured inside of 10 minutes and Dobie's playing scrum half for 70 minutes against South Africa. That's not ideal.
There's no wing on the bench, is there?
No, but Jordan would go to fullback and Roll would go to the wing if you need to cover wing.
But it means that Jamie Dobie would have to play 80 minutes regardless then.
Yes.
Yeah, he's not played that much rugby, he'll be fine.
Fine, yeah.
Because that's exactly how it works. It's like
If only,
language in a
if only
car.
we had other wingers that we could maybe have used.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, we've picked the team. I would agree. I think South Africa are bigger, uglier, and nastier than us. So trying to out big, out ugly, out nasty them is a bad idea. But
I would have preferred Gregor Brown on the bench and bring Alex Samuel in to start in the row as well. You know, bring Gregor Brown on again with a bit of speed and a bit of aggression with 30 to play, you know. I don't think I like Alex Samuel as a player, but I don't think he brings that off the bench.
I would almost have been happy to see Johnny Gray again, because you know that he'll just spend all the time on the park tackling the house down.
Yeah.
Like,
He'll empty himself for 40 minutes. Yeah.
yeah. Like you, I like Alex Samuel too, but the balance just feels off to me.
Yes.
It just doesn't feel like it's right.
Yeah.
I hope I'm wrong, and I hope that we win.
Let's keep slagging the team off so that when we're the famous win, we can all go, oh, we're wrong. Like I keep, like Elliot Miller-Mills has turned into an international class prop, and I am delighted that I'm wrong. Grand. I mean, essentially, we could just have posted the meme of or the gif of SpongeBob, and nearly said SquidgeBob again. The meme of SquidgeBob sitting, gnawing his fingernails and crying and sweating, because that's essentially our preview, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'll remind you of what we generally settled on as what a good summer for Scotland would be, which was 2 wins and a performance against South Africa. We've got the first of those wins, and we're now hoping for a performance against South Africa.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't see us winning this one. South Africa are simply better in most facets of the game. And no scrum, no win, as we've said. I keep going back to forwards decide who wins a game.
I do prefer no Scotland, no party as a chant, Mark.
Yeah, that's more of an entertaining line, you know. But so I don't think we'll win. But if we put up a performance, I think that would be a good step forward for us.
A performance and a traffic cone on the head of one of the apartheid era politicians' statues. That's what we should be aiming for. Or
Rassie. If one of the guys could secure a traffic cone on his head, that would be a bonus.
I don't think there's any way that happens without violence.
The only slight positive is it is quite a rotated South African team. It is mostly Wolves players, and you Glasgow beat them through the season. It's not impossible. Okay, they didn't beat them in the semi-final, but it's not impossible. But it's unlikely.
He's made 10 changes to the team.
It's very rotated. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it's a B team because I'm not really sure that concept sort of exists in South Africa. But
yeah.
Also, I'm pretty sure South Africa could play their D team and still be competitive against almost all other nations. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, let's leave that there, and we'll move on to this. Welcome to Hands in the Ruck, our any other business section of the pod, where we go through each and every one of us and look at what's vomited in their eider down or peed in their cocoa this week. Leslie, is there anything bothering you this week?
There are many things bothering me this week, Alan, but I like to return to my favourite topic, Old men on the internet.
Again, right here.
Standing item on the agenda.
Yeah. So I Scottish Rugby put up a post on Twitter about Dan Kelly, who's a winger for Scotland under 20s. Now, I hold my hand up. I was wrong. I confused him with somebody else, probably Henry Kesterton in the centres. So I said, "Oh, Scotland's future at centres looks great because there is some nice centres coming through. I've just got the wrong guy. I was wrong." So some walloper on the internet comes at me with Rassie style circles and the player's profile from like Ultimate Rugby or something like that with winger circles everywhere. Like, fuck off. Just fuck off. I'm happy to be wrong. I don't need Rassie style yellow circles. Like, you can just say, actually, he's actually a winger. He's not a centre. That's fine. I'm happy to be wrong. But please, we don't need the Rassie style circles.
Was he a former Heat magazine journalist and he was bringing out the circle of shame
Circle of
again?
shame. Could well have been. Like, oh, go away.
Once again, with an absolutely current and up-to-date reference.
Yes, indeed.
I genuinely don't understand why there are people that have not worked out the utter futility of doing that kind of thing, particularly on the internet. It just makes you look stupid. The best post I saw about it, I'm going back probably 10, 12 years, was a picture of two hares boxing in a field full of snow. And somebody had just captioned it with, "This is what it looks like when you're arguing on the internet." And that.
Yeah.
Just stop, honestly. Yeah.
I mean, you're really going to do Johnny like that? The man that loves arguing on Twitter, or loved arguing on Twitter, now enjoys Blue Sky. No comment from Mark. No comment.
Oh, sorry, I must have gone on mute there, mate.
This guy was just an arsehole. If it was somebody that like I interacted with regularly, like fine, but just some random, like, go away.
Yeah. I'm standing in this glass house throwing stones, right? I know I've been guilty of it on occasion as well, but not to that degree. I think you'll find.
See, that would have been fine. Like, by the way, he's actually a winger. That's fine.
Oh, yeah,
I was wrong, but to
go to the trouble of
getting his player profile and then circling everywhere that said winger and all the under 20s games when he's played winger.
Always makes me wonder as well whether they'd have had the same reaction to me posting it, or is it because you're of the female persuasion?
I don't know. I don't know
either,
guys,
but
so.
It makes me think about it.
I won't judge because I don't know. But...
So you're saying he's an arsehole, but not necessarily a misogynistic arsehole?
Well, you see, I don't want to just make assumptions, but you know, I can.
Unlike him.
I have evidence that he is an arsehole, but I'm not sure about the evidence if he's misogynistic or not. So I'll the jury's
Let me
out.
send him something, see what it says.
This is
We'll do a control experiment.
This is wonderfully empirical. I like this. Mark, what's untickled your pickle this week?
Actually, not a great deal. I did think I was a wee bit narked by the some of the coverage in the Argentina game. Not knowing the subs were coming on and stuff like that, but we've kind of covered that. I suspect the comms team were not in the stadium. I could be wrong about that, but
that's usually what happens when the substitutes go like that. That's usually the comms team at home looking at a video feed. So
it's not really a big thing. The thing that really just It's a wee bit fingers down the blackboard to me, right? I understand why marketing works, right? And I'm absolutely fine with it. However, the marketing stuff about Scotland's new kit, right? I like Scotland's new kit. If any of you out there in podcast land haven't seen it, the new home kit for men and women is exactly the same, which I think is fabulous. And it's good. It's navy blue with white on it, which is pretty much exactly what Scotland's kit has been for as long as I've ever watched us play. However, the vision behind this season's kit was inspired by elements of the Scottish wilderness, sand and ice, while the launch campaign stepped into the historic atmospheric surroundings of Leith Theatre. Oh, do fucking stop. Come on. It's a well-designed kit. Take the win. Don't tell us it's to do with the Scottish wilderness, sand and ice. It's a navy blue and white Scotland kit. I get the marketing stuff, but come on. Who comes up with that shite? Really?
I don't know, but they're so far up their own arse they can see their
4
sleeve.
years at university to come up with that bollocks.
And Mark said he didn't have anything annoying him, and then I think he found something.
Apart from... No, but that's it for me. Otherwise, it's been a good week, I think.
You, Allan?
I mean, we've already spoken about the commentary from some non-Scots loving corners.
Well, that's mine actually. It's
Can't
why Wales are world beaters for beating Fiji in Cardiff, and Scotland were lucky to beat Argentina.
Yes.
And look, it may come to the end when Scotland lose to Fiji at Murrayfield, and Wales also thump Argentina, or Scotland squeak past Fiji. But let's wait to see. I think I'm surprised people have taken that tack. That wouldn't be how I saw it. I accept that I have biases here. I'll be interested to see how it all shakes down at the end. Yeah. And I am, you know how Tam O'Shanter's wife was gathering her brows like gathering storm, nursing her wrath to keep it warm. Well, I'm like that, except I'm nursing my smug to keep it warm.
Yes,
so we'll see. We'll see. As I say, I think they want it to be one way. It's the other way.
I think we all know that there has been Scotland have been in the doldrums for many years. We were all watching them in the mid-noughties and all that sort of thing. Wales are in the doldrums now. And I'm going to show them all the sympathy I remember them showing me.
You were living in Wales at the time, weren't you?
I really was.
Yeah. Okay, I think we'll leave that one there because we might cause an international incident. And we can't fight in too many fronts in this pod, so we shouldn't open up a second front.
I have one more, Allan, if that's all right.
Of course it is, Leslie.
I don't know if you guys have seen it, because I know you're not kind of on Twitter so much now, but I don't know if you saw the Scotland team announcement picture or video that went out.
Yeah.
The one with Finn sitting down.
Yeah, I don't think we need crop shops for team announcements. Don't think we need to do that.
Leslie?
I don't think we need that.
Leslie, hard disagree. Hard disagree. And I have chosen my words. I have chosen my words advisedly there.
I don't think we need to see so much of Finn, perhaps. In a team announcement, is all I'll say. Oh.
Not quite like one of my friends who at my brother's 21st who turned up in his kilt for the Ceilidh and had been traditional, and then had got drunk and had sort of like fallen asleep with his knees open, traumatizing one of the girls that was sitting on the floor.
Oh.
Yeah.
Bad
Yeah.
times.
Yeah,
Bad
we've all
times.
done that.
I am going to go out the limb and say I wear boxers under my kilt because people used to just lift it up. That's got better, thankfully, but
I
I
do now
also
mostly as a result of having lived in Wales, and for some reason it's very acceptable down there to do that to a guy in a kilt.
yeah, I just don't like the chafing apart from anything else.
That too. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, right, that's probably more about my nether regions than anyone wanted and indeed needed to know. So let's move on to our 50-22 section. I have a selection. I think I've got 3 things, which means you two can choose anything you like without me moaning at you, unless you decide to have 2, in which case we'll have words if you take 2 of mine.
Go for it,
Leslie,
Mark. I need to think.
Okay. I already mentioned the Xander holding the Argentinian scrum half at arm's length while chatting to the ref, and the scrum half just wrestling about. I just thought that was a thing of beauty. And the other thing was something that, it had all of the Scrappy Doo vibes going on, right? And the other thing was a reel that I saw only this evening, so it's got to be a couple of weeks old. But Finn, just before the Bath semi-final, putting, when they were in the warm-up, putting a ball with pinpoint accuracy down the sidelines onto the commentary team. Delalio clearly being unhappy about it, and Simon Zebo clearly thinking it was absolutely bloody hilarious.
Well, he's clearly kicking it at Zebo, isn't he? Because
absolutely,
like they're big mates.
Yeah. That was excellent. Delalio just rumph. No, I thought that was very funny, and I enjoyed that.
Yeah. Leslie, have you thought of one?
I'm going to say Jake DL because he has the potential probably to be the next Finn, for want of a better word. He's a very talented young man, and I hope he continues to develop and show us his skills because he's been very good this under 20s World Championship, whatever it's called. But yes, he's been great, especially for somebody so young.
I hope he gets well managed. Is it Sale he's going to, or Newcastle?
No,
Newcastle.
it's Newcastle.
Newcastle. Oh, well,
I think
in
that
that
feels
case,
very
he will.
much. That feels very much like a choice with a capital C. Actually,
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
he's gone there to be out of the Edinburgh and Glasgow hype machine and just
Yeah.
not far away from Scotland. I mean, Newcastle's pretty much the closest you can be to Scotland and in pro rugby and not in Scotland.
You think when
Yeah.
professionalism started, so many of our good players went to Newcastle, like George
Gary
Dillon,
Armstrong.
Doddy Weir, they all went down and played at Newcastle because it was easy to get up to Murrayfield for training, you know.
And also quite easy to get to Jedburgh as well. In the case of
all joking aside, I'm as close to Newcastle as I am to Edinburgh here. You know, I've been I keep defaulting to driving to Edinburgh if I need to go into the city, but realistically, I should have a look at Newcastle. You know,
you're not allowed to wear a jacket in Newcastle, Mark. That's all I know.
Taps off weather if it's above 0.
I mean, yeah, the north of England has a lot in common with Glasgow in lots of ways.
Yes.
Grand. Good. Okay. Well, I've got one, and I think my favourite one was that take by Kyle Steyn as he goes through, and you think, he's overrun it.
Yeah.
And he reaches back and grabs the ball, and all I had in my head was go gadget arms. That was all I could. That was all I could think.
It was an absolutely incredible piece of skill.
You were just kind of like, I don't think. Well, in fact, it wasn't Kyle Steyn. It was Kyle Dane.
Shame, yes.
Shame. Was it Jamie Lyle doing the comms?
No, it was Johnny Beattie and Johnny Hammond was the main commentator.
Fair, because I thought it was Jamie Lyle, because you know he has a thing about pronouncing things as they should be, hence Chile. In fact, someone got chucked out of the Scottish Rugby Forum on Facebook for moaning about it was someone with form, but they were moaning about Jamie Lyle's pronunciation of Chile, and we're like, I think someone had said that is how you pronounce the country name. He was like, no, it's Chile, and then he was just so unpleasant in the argument. We're like, do you know what? I can't believe this is what's done it, but this is what's finally put you over the line. See you.
The first time I heard Jamie Lyle doing that was commentating on a South Sea Island team. I can't remember, Tonga, Fiji, one of the others. And I thought, what's going on here? I genuinely thought, hang on a minute. But then reading into it and finding out that he'd spend time with the players, he'd spend time with the managers, how do you pronounce your name properly, etc., etc. I thought, fair play to him, you know? It's good on him, quite right. I mean, we've spoken about it with the whole Xander Ferguson thing. It is literally your job to pronounce the names correctly, and Jamie does a great job of it. Even nowadays, Teddy Thomas playing for Wales, it's Thomas. You're even missing a letter. That's how you pronounce it. You know, you're not having to do anything clever. Just don't pronounce the S.
Was Teddy Thomas playing for Wales? I always thought he was French.
No, that's Thomas Williams.
Thomas.
I have had a very long day, and it started after a night last night with David, where we were up late drinking whiskey and buckfast and Negronis. So I have had a few cobwebs today, shall we say. And ward round and then clinic. So it's been a busy day, and it's blimmin' warm up here.
It is, yeah.
Yep.
It is blimmin' warm up here.
Yeah. I was saying to Leslie, I drove back from Edinburgh yesterday, and by the time I arrived in Jed, it was 27 degrees according to the car. I suspect it was the same today, and I was out cutting the grass and stuff like that this afternoon. For those of you watching in black and white, I may be glowing like a Belisha beacon.
Did you have your sunscreen on, Mark?
Don't be silly. I don't own sunscreen because I'm that stupid.
I stopped having that thought when I went. My son played cricket at Elgin. It was a beautiful day. I'm like, oh, this is wonderful sitting out in the sun. And I thought, I'm okay. I've got a broad brimmed hat on. I don't know how wide I thought that fucking brim was. The tops of my legs look like drumstick squash. My legs look like drumstick squashes because basically, and my right was worse than my left. My legs have been. That was 2 years ago. I'm only just getting out of that sort of burn and difference in colours in the leg now. So I have bought sunscreen that's in Rory's cricket bag because I'm like, do you know what? I am going to be careful about this in future. Yeah. So
that's what I like to hear.
It's nothing like bravado or anything like that. I simply haven't got round to buying any because I'm a bit smart.
I was the same, Mark. I was the same, but I essentially learned the hard way after getting absolutely scalded in the sun.
Oh, there's every evidence that you'll be peeling my forehead like some kind of lizard shedding its skin tomorrow. So.
Right, I don't think we can go down that rabbit hole. I think in that bombshell, it is the end from us, and all that remains is for us to say goodbye. So it's goodbye from me,
and it's goodbye from me,
Judy.
It's goodbye from all of us. Take care, and we'll see you at another point. Thank you.
Cheers.